Chapter 9. Page 90. Supplementing his former letter, Robert Gordon wrote, Dear Mr. Kenilworth, I am anxious to make some money in my cotton deals and get into wheat for the big advance that I figure is coming this spring and summer. Then I want to be in position to buy some Wright aeroplane and sell major motors and other stocks short, because I believe that in the next few years I can make a fortune buying Wright aeroplane stock and selling short major motors. Just as the railroad locomotive attained great speed from 1834 to 1839, and the big steamers cut down the time between New York and Europe, so will airplanes 100 years later cut the time around the world and to all points of the world. Just as the automobile has supplanted the railway passenger trains in carrying passengers across the country, so will the airplane take the place of railroads and automobiles in transportation through the air, because it will be much faster and safer. I believe that the airplane described by Ezekiel is going to be the model of a great plane in the future, and I would like to make money enough to be the man to build the first plane according to the plans laid down in the Bible. Mr. Kenilworth, I want to help you and show my appreciation for all your kindness to me. I would like to help you make back the money that you lost in the big slump in stocks in the fall of 1919, and believe that if you will buy some July or October cotton right now, and hold it, you will make a lot of money. To show your faith in me, buy at least 100 bales. Then along about the 5th of April, we will have a lot of big profits made and can buy some wheat and corn, as I figure that wheat and corn are going to start up the early part of April and advance 25 to 30 cents per bushel. Haven't you faith enough in me and faith enough in the Bible to risk a few $100s and make back all the money you have lost? Of course you don't need it, Mr. Kenilworth, but it would make me very happy to see you make some money, anyway. Sincerely, Robert. After reading over Robert's letters and explanation of the cycles, Mr. Kenilworth answered. February 1, 1927. My dear Robert, your amazing letter and forecast of the future cycles, received. I am surprised to find one so young possessed of so much knowledge. It shows that you are a deep student and have been searching for the hidden mysteries. You will receive your reward. I have faith in the Bible and in you, Robert. In 1919, I followed tips and lost a lot of money. Now I must have enough faith in you to risk a little money on your predictions, based on the Bible, so I telegraphed my brokers in New York today and bought 500 bales of July cotton at $13.70. If it goes up, I am going to hold it, and the money I make on it, I am going to give to you and Marie when you are married as a wedding present, or if you need the money to promote your invention, I will let you have it to use for that purpose. Please keep me posted on your studies and on your new discoveries. Always feel free to come and talk your matters over with me. I am always interested in anything that you have to write or talk to me about. Have faith in you and believe you are right about the great war to come. It is plain that the nations in Europe are rapidly getting ready for war, and, of course, it will be with airplanes. While I hate to think the United States will again be called into war, at the same time I realize that all of the foreign countries are jealous of us, because we have such enormous gold supply and have grown so prosperous. The United States is now the banker of the world, and while it was no fault of ours that the Great World War occurred, which resulted to our benefit by transfer of gold from other nations to us, at the same time they are jealous and have a real hatred for America. So you are probably right in preparing to build a great airplane to be used in defending your country. Such noble intentions, my boy, fill my heart with pride. I am going to drive out to the farm to see your mother next Sunday if I can get time. Want to have a talk with her and tell her of your brilliant achievement. It makes every mother's heart glad to know that her boy is trying to accomplish something. I feel sure that you are going to accomplish your aims, Robert, and I am with you always. Sincerely yours, J. H. Kenilworth. After hearing from Mr. Kenilworth, Robert was very happy, and of course, had to share his happiness with Marie. February 5, 1927. Sweet Marie, I am very happy on this Saturday night, and nothing could make me happier than to be with you. I feel that I have won a great victory. I have put my theories up to Mr. Kenilworth, explained all that I could about my discoveries of the cycles in the Bible, and urged him to buy some cotton and make back the money that he lost in 1919. He said that he had faith in me and the Bible, so he bought 500 bales of July cotton at $13.70 as I suggested. While the market hasn't gone up much since I bought mine, at the same time it is holding steady and I am sure that it is going up. I believe Mr. Kenilworth is going to make a lot of money on his cotton and I want to see him make it because he is an honest, wholehearted man and has done everything he could to help me. The $500 bonus he gave me in January enabled me to have margin enough to buy the cotton, and if I make a great success I will feel that I owe him a great debt of gratitude, because he has really helped me get a start. Don't think I fail to appreciate all you are doing, my little sweetheart, and the faith that you have in me. I am looking forward to the day when I will make Wall Street hum with you standing by my side. Nothing would be left for me to work for if it wasn't the hope of having you, and the happiness that you can bring. Money will not mean anything except to accomplish my purpose, help my country and buy the things that will make you happy. Love is indeed the greatest thing in the world and you are the greatest woman in the world. With your love, there is nothing that I cannot do. You are my last thought when I go to sleep at night and the first when I wake in the morning. Everything I do, I always think is for you. Your sweet little letters are always so encouraging and your supreme faith in me urges me on to greater things. With all the love that my heart can send, I am as ever your loving Robert. Monday, February 7, 1927. My own dear Robert. Your letter received this a.m. It is the happiest Monday morning that I have ever had. Am glad to know that Mr. Kenilworth is backing up your judgment. If I had some money I certainly would send it to you to buy some cotton for me. Maybe I will have some in a few months, because I am saving something every week from my allowance which Papa sends me. Every night when I kneel to pray, I ask God to give you strength and confidence, Robert, and I know that He can and will help you. It makes me very happy to know in all of your plans for the future, you think of me, and I am going to try to prove worthy of that great love. You are so noble, pure and unselfish. Always thinking of others and thinking of what you can do to help protect your country in time of war. I do hope and pray as your mother does, that the days of wars may pass away. That man may cease to fight and may know and understand each other, setting their differences on the basis of love. I will welcome that day, and hope that I may stand by your side, when there will be no more wars and our loved ones will not be taken away to war. Write me often, Robert, and know that you have all the love that the heart of one little woman can send. Your own Marie. The month of February slowly passed away. Cotton was very slow and inactive, but on February 23, it started up and went up fast. On March 2, July cotton had advanced to $14.80, and Robert had a profit of $1,000 and Mr. Kenilworth had a profit of $2,500. Robert was very much elated over his progress and the profit for Mr. Kenilworth. He wrote Marie how the market was working out according to his prediction. How the money was piling up, and that he would soon have money to start on his invention and new discovery. Marie was very happy over Robert's success and wrote encouraging letters. Mr. Kenilworth was also very happy and congratulated Robert on being able to buy cotton very close to the low level in January. March was the month to bring disappointment to Robert. Cotton started to decline and by the middle of the month had declined to around $13.75, wiping out all Robert's and Mr. Kenilworth's profits, but still leaving their capital intact. Robert was not discouraged. He told Mr. Kenilworth that the flood was sure to come in the Mississippi Valley during April and May, the spring would be late, and the price would be sure to advance. He had no thought of selling out his cotton and urged Mr. Kenilworth to hold his, which he did. Marie had become very much interested in the market and was reading the paper every day and watching the prices. She saw the price decline to around $13.75 and knew that Robert's profits would now be wiped out. She felt very sorry for him and wrote him. March 15, 1927. My dear Robert, I have not heard from you in several days. I see that the market has declined to where you now have no profit left on your deal. Do not get discouraged. I have great faith in you and believe that you are yet going to come out all right and make a lot of money. Why don't you hold your cotton, and tell Mr. Kenilworth to hold his, because my intuition tells me that you are certainly right? I have been saving money every week from my allowance. A few weeks ago I wrote Papa and told him that I had to have some extra money and asked him if he could let me have $300. He sent the money at once, so I now have $400 and I am sending it to you. I want you to buy me 100 bales of July cotton. I was talking with a broker from Dallas a few days ago, and he says that he believes cotton will go up even though it may be slow for a while. Take the money, and if you can get the broker to buy 100 for me, do so. This is my faith in you, and in the Bible. So don't be afraid to buy for me, Robert. I am just as game as you are. With all love and wishing you luck. As ever, your own Marie. This letter was a great consolation and encouragement to Robert. He had begun to feel a little blue because cotton had declined. Not that he thought it wouldn't go up again, but he was sorry that he had failed to get the profits. He took Marie's money and on March 17 bought 100 bales of July cotton at $13.90. The cotton market was slow during the balance of March, but it did not decline, and Robert was greatly encouraged. The market was slow again during April, but prices were holding steady and Robert felt encouraged that they did not decline. On April 20 a flood started in the Mississippi Valley. The spring was late and planting delayed. Cotton started to advance and went up fast, July reaching $15.40 by April 25. Robert's profits were now piling up fast, and Marie had a profit of over $700 on her 100 bales. Mr. Kenilworth had held his cotton and profits were accumulating fast for him. He congratulated Robert on his wonderful prediction that the flood came as he forecast. Marie was watching the papers, so she wired Robert as follows. You are a wonder, the market is making good, and we are going to win. I am with you always, love, Marie. Robert now began to see possibilities of his dream being realized, and thought in a few months he could resign his position and go to New York and continue to speculate in order to make money enough to build his airplane and work out ideas for his other discoveries. So he wrote Marie this letter. April 30, 1927. My darling Marie. The Lord has been good to us. Fortune is smiling on us. Cotton is on its way up. In a few weeks we'll be up around 17 cents a pound, and we will have a lot of money made. I bought another 100 bales today and Mr. Kenilworth bought 500 bales more. It won't be long until I have money enough to go to New York. When I go, I want you to go with me, because I cannot go there and succeed alone without you. I need your love and encouragement, and want you to marry me and start to New York together. Of course I don't like to have you leave school before you graduate, but I feel it is best for you to go with me. Write and let me know what you think about it. With all my love. Your Robert. Marie's reply. Sunday, May 1, 1927. My dear Robert. I have just received your letter, and I am happy to know that the cotton is moving your way. I know that you love and trust me, and I want you to know that I love and trust you, so please try to understand me. While I have the greatest faith in you and know that you will succeed, I feel that marrying you just now might handicap you and prevent your success. When once I am yours, Robert, you will have realized your fondest hope, and possibly your ambition may wane. You will fight harder to win if you still cling to the hope of winning me. They say that hope and anticipation are greater than realization, Robert. Never cease to hope, for I am with you. Even when I am not with you, trust me as I trust you, for I love only you. I am going to tell you a dream that I had a few nights ago. I saw you a great success. Fortune was smiling on you. The world was at your feet, but I seemed to see a great tragedy follow this. It seemed I left you in a mysterious way and then came back to you just as mysteriously. Now, don't think that I do not want to go with you, Robert, and don't think that I believe in dreams, but somehow it has made a great impression on me. Of course you know that Father would never consent to me leaving school to marry you, and if we married, we would have to run away. Would it not be best for you to go to New York, as you have planned, work on your invention, and let my love and faith guide you to success? You could live for my love, which you have always said was the greatest thing in the world. You have all my love and will always have it. I could continue in school and later, If you became despondent and could not get along without me, remember that I would have faith and love enough to give up father, mother, and everything else and come to you. I want to do what I feel is best for your future, Robert, and I hope that you will believe me and see it that way. I want you to come over to see me next Sunday, so we can talk over all your future plans. With all of my love for you always, your Marie. When Robert received Marie's letter, he was disappointed, but felt that when he saw her and talked matters over, he could get her to change her mind, give up school, if necessary, marry him and go to New York with him. He had heard and read much of the pitfalls of the great city of New York and felt that he did not care to venture there alone without Marie with him as his wife. While his old schoolmate and chum, Walter Kenilworth, was in New York and could work with him and be a great help and comfort, he felt that Marie, his one great inspiration, was absolutely necessary to his success and that he must persuade her to go with him to New York. On Sunday, May 1st, Robert went to visit his mother in the country. He found that Mr. Kenilworth had been there and told her of Robert's success and his faith in him. Robert's mother was very happy when he told her that cotton was advancing and he was making money rapidly and Mr. Kenilworth was making money, that Marie had such great faith in him that she had put up her only $400 and bought 100 bales of cotton and now had a profit of about $1,000. Robert told his mother of his plans. That he expected within a few months to go to New York, establish himself there, and speculate in order to make money so that he could build his great airplane according to Ezekiel's plan and prepare to help his country in time of war. Mrs. Gordon was very happy to learn of her boy's success. She was sad when he began to talk about war. Robert assured her that the Bible plainly foretold the great war which was to be fought in the air and that it was his duty to help protect his country. While his mother admired his patriotism, she again referred to the dream that she had had years before, about a great war which would come and in which she thought that Robert lost his life in San Francisco. She talked to Robert of his future and told him she hoped he would be a preacher. Robert confided to her that he could never be an Orthodox minister, for he could not preach and teach the things which the Orthodox ministers were teaching. He did not believe in a personal devil or believe in hell, but believed in a God of love and justice. He did not believe that God would inflict upon any of his children eternal punishment but thought that whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap and that we receive our reward here upon earth. He told her that the Bible plainly said that the kingdom of heaven is within us and he believed it. If we kept our conscience clear and did unto others as we would like to have them do unto us, he believed we would find our heaven and our reward here upon earth. Said that times and conditions were changing rapidly. That the new inventions and discoveries caused men to think differently than in the old days. That the old religious ideas would pass away and give place to more liberal, advanced ideas. He hoped to live to see the day when men would not only be too proud to fight, but would be too full of love for their fellowmen to settle disputes with the sword. This was God's plan and it would come to pass this way, and he believed that he could be a great power for peace and hoped to live to see a world of peace with all nations united under one kingdom and one God, the God of love and justice. Mrs. Gordon felt that her faith in Robert had been justified and that she understood him better than his father and brother. He told his mother of his hopes for an early marriage with Marie and that when he went to New York, he wanted to take Marie with him as his wife. His mother was not in favor of an elopement. She wanted him to make good, act in an honorable way and ask the consent of Mr. Stanton to his marriage with Marie, but she felt at this time Mr. Stanton would not give his consent because he wanted Marie to complete her education and it was right and proper she should. His mother asked him if he didn't think it would be best to continue his position with Mr. Kenilworth for a few years longer, after he saw that he was making a success before going to New York where he might fail in a strange city. Robert was filled with a great determination to go. He wished to make a success and knew he would, because he read the Bible and had learned how. The week ending May 7th was the greatest week in Robert Gordon's life up to that time. Cotton advanced rapidly about $4 per bale, and by May 7th Robert's profits were about $2,500. Marie had a profit of over $1,000 on her 100 bales which Robert bought for her, and Mr. Kenilworth now had a profit of about $7,000. On Saturday morning May 7th, Mr. Kenilworth called Robert into his private office and asked him if he knew what the cotton market was doing that morning. Robert said he hadn't heard what the price was. Mr. Kenilworth told him that July was now selling around 16 cents per pound, and that while he had some nice profits, the money was not the thing that counted with him, but the fact that Robert was right on the market made him happy, that he had faith in him and encouraged him. Robert then confided to Mr. Kenilworth that he was very anxious to go to New York just as soon as possible. He had been reading about the contemplated flights of the airplanes from New York across the Atlantic, and he wanted to be in New York by his birthday in June 1927, because he figured by that time the airplanes would have crossed the Atlantic and there would be great excitement in New York. He wished to be there and get all the information he could about airplanes, because he wanted to start building his own just as soon as he had money enough and felt that he could do so. He asked Mr. Kenilworth what he thought about him resigning in a short time to go to New York. Mr. Kenilworth told him that he would regret very much to lose his services, but that he had great faith in Robert's study of the Bible and what he thought he could do, and that if he wanted to do so, he would let him go, and not only that, but would aid him financially. Robert confided his hope and desire to take Marie with him. Mr. Kenilworth didn't exactly agree with this, but told him that this was a problem he would have to solve for himself, that if Marie had faith enough in him to take the step, he was sure it would work out all right. And that he could always have his old position back any time that he wanted to return, and could have any help that he could render him in New York. After his conference with Mr. Kenilworth, Robert wired Marie as follows. "Expect to be with you Sunday. Will come over on afternoon train today." Robert arrived in Sherman, Texas, Saturday evening, and Marie met him at the train. She was overjoyed at Robert's success. They spent Saturday evening and Sunday together. It seemed to them the happiest days of their lives. Robert talked over his plans and Marie was enthusiastic about his future. He told her that if the market worked as he expected, he intended to trade in wheat and corn in the near future. That he hoped to go to New York by the early part of June, as he was very enthusiastic about the air flights from New York across the Atlantic to Paris, and get started on his studies and invention. Marie was willing to give him all the money she had made to help him out, but he told her that the one thing he wanted was her and her love, and that he wanted her to go with him to New York. She knew her father would never consent to their marriage and the only way would be to elope. While she thought it best to finish her studies in school and join him in New York later, said if he insisted, she would go with him. Robert left for Texarkana on Sunday afternoon, May 8, with Marie's promise that if he decided to go to New York within a few weeks, they would make arrangements to elope and be married in St. Louis on their arrival there. Robert had his Bible with him and on his way back home Sunday night, spent several hours reading it and going over the predictions by Ezekiel and the plans outlined by Ezekiel for an airplane, which Robert hoped and expected to build in the near future. During the next 10 days, cotton was slow and reacted 40 to 50 points. But this in no wise discouraged Robert, as he felt sure that a big advance was coming the latter part of May and during the early June. On May 19, July cotton was again up around the 16-cent level. Robert felt that now was the time to start buying wheat and corn. He wired his broker in New York to buy 10,000 July wheat and 10,000 July corn, and to raise the stop-loss order on his cotton and also place a stop-loss order on the wheat and corn, to protect the broker and himself. The broker wired that he had bought 10,000 July wheat at 138.5, and 10,000 July corn at 92 cents. On May 20, Robert bought 10,000 July corn at 92.5 cents from Marie's account. He told Mr. Kenilworth that he figured wheat and corn were now going to have a big advance, and advised him to buy some, which he did.